I want to go through some callbacks real quick. Can we go through some callbacks?
What you mentioned before, McCurdy, is that this being the 20th Bond movie, the writers and producers wanted to pack in a ton of Bond references.
Of course.
And they certainly did. So what we did was each of us wrote a list of everything we picked up on. And so we're going to compare our lists right now and see if we got them all. I have quite a bit.
Here's the main references that most people will point out. Jinx's entrance coming out of the water, which is very much an homage to Honey Rider's entrance in Dr. No. Also, we have James Bond posing as an ornithologist.
Ornithologist, huh?
Where does that come from?
He's a bird watcher, and he looks at a book of birds of the West Indies. And we mentioned this way back in Dr. No that Ian Fleming had come up with the name of James Bond because he was in the name of an author for a bird watching book. And so it's like, oh, that's so cute. They put it in the movie.
And they just perfectly scratched it off, you know? Like you can see a J.
But then Halle Berry says, that's a mouthful.
Wow. Now there's a mouthful.
While staring at his cock.
Should I start with mine? Because there's no way I have as many as you guys.
Okay, Dans, you go first, and we'll check them off, and then we'll see what's left.
My first one is the bad green screening callback to rear projection in the old movies.
He goes obscure right off the bat. There was a scene where he said Bond, James Bond. Is that a reference to other Bond movies?
So obviously when he's in Hong Kong, they're like filming him, right? That's from Russia with Love.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
That is a good one.
There's that random room of mirrors.
Yes.
Rotating mirrors that Bond's walking through.
Man with a golden gun.
Okay.
I totally got a golden gun vibe from that.
Gustav's parachuting. I don't know what the point of that whole thing is, but the parachute itself.
Yes.
Callback to
Spy Who Loved Me.
It's two things, I think. It's the Spy Who Loved Me British parachute, but it's also parachuting into a social event, just like License to Kill. It's like those two in one.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
And it's just to show that he's a renegade, badass, billionaire.
I prefer the term adventurer.
He's an over-the-top character.
Yeah. And going off of Gustav, his engineer, I don't know what you would call him really. I'm not sure what the character's name is, but he gives me Wint and Kid vibe.
Similar
I don't
haircut.
know if that's on purpose, but that guy is kind of interesting.
I kind of got his voice. Sounds like, who was Lashif again in the 1950s Casino Royale?
Peter Lorre.
Peter Lorre.
Here's the self-defense mechanism. You ask him to build in.
50,000 volts.
100.
Ooh, yes, 100,000 volts. He sounds like Peter Lorre.
Can it be that they are mad themselves who call me mad?
But that goes even before Eon, so...
I just thought that guy was kind of goofy and reminded me of Winton Kid from...
Like, if you combine Winton Kid into one...
Yeah, it's their child.
That's kind of funny.
That's Winton Kid's kid. That's their child. That's their butt baby.
Winton Kid's kid.
The only other one I have down is when Bond is running down the side of the, like...
A little Wayland
green
moment.
Dome thing.
Yeah.
Gustav and Bond's fencing match.
Let's play for this.
Wagers, reminiscent, even though it's a fencing match this time, it's the same premise as we saw in View to the Kill with the horses, but in Goldfinger, it's over Nazi gold. But this time, it's a wager over a diamond that is Gustav Graves' diamond, which we know is not a legitimate diamond. So instead of a golf match, they are fencing. Also from Goldfinger, you've got him shooting the gun, getting sucked out. The laser cutter, which is similar from Goldfinger. Yep. You've got a character that is kind of reminiscent of Oddjob and Mr. Kill.
I'm Mr. Kill.
Well, there's a name to die for.
You know, he doesn't throw a hat or anything, but it's like, okay, he's kind of an Asian descent character.
Mr. Kill itself
guy.
even seems like a kind of meta.
The name.
Yeah, like it like before it was Necros, when Necros means death. So it's like hidden. It's veiled a little bit. Where it's just Mr. Kill, it's like a meta joke. He might as well walked up and said, I'm Mr. Bad Guy.
We have the Diamond Satellite from Diamonds Are Forever. It's very similar. We have the parachute antics are similar to Moonraker as far as like, I've got a parachute and now you don't. And he throws the other parachute out.
Oh, look! Parachutes for the both of us! Whoops!
You have the face changing of the characters, such as the plastic surgery you had in Diamonds Are Forever. This time now you have like an updated version of that with glowing lights and stuff like that.
This would be like if in Diamonds Are Forever, Blofeld got plastic surgery to look like Willard White and then later revealed himself to be Blofeld and Bond's like, mind f***ed. But I don't think they knew how to visually tell that story back then because they have to devote a lot of time to the whole like DNA reconstruction thing in this movie. They didn't do that with Diamonds Are Forever. Instead, they just kidnap Willard White and Blofeld looks like Blofeld always has, and then he has the double and all that. But yeah, it's still the same idea. You have the death of a bad guy in the beginning that later comes back to be the main villain.
Gotcha.
Bond kills Blofeld in the opening of Diamonds Are Forever, and then when Blofeld comes back, it's a shocker. It's like, oh my God. That's also what happens in GoldenEye. A guy dies in the beginning who later returns to be the main villain. Not only does Blofeld die in the beginning, but he returns later as a really wealthy guy in the form of Willard White.
Which obviously is just like Colonel Moon becoming the really wealthy Gustav Graves.
The Gustav Graves article says Diamonds Are Forever at the bottom. And then during their match, when he's kind of looking over the diamond, he says,
Diamonds are for everyone.
I noticed that.
Diamonds are for everyone. Like, I see what you did there, Gustav.
Yep.
Bond goes rogue, having been disavowed and had his 00 status removed, like in License to Kill. When him and M are in the underground talking about Gustav Graves, he says,
From nothing to everything in no time at all.
sounds like Everything or Nothing kind of spun around a little bit. Remember, Eon Productions stands for Everything or Nothing. It's a little reference to Eon.
I see that.
Bond uses a watch laser to cut through the floor. This time it's ice, just like in GoldenEye. Bond uses a rebreather, like in Thunderball. I'm surprised you guys didn't mention the ejector seat, because we haven't...
I didn't, yeah. There's the ejector seat.
We,
yeah,
not only do we have the
Full
ejector
finger.
seat, but we also have a callback to...
Ejector seat? You're joking. You must be joking.
I never joke about my work, 007.
As I learned from my predecessor, Bond, I never joke about my work.
I wish Bond would have been more panicked in that situation.
It's the coolest moment in the movie.
It's cool,
Yeah.
but the
It's
button
the only moment in
isn't-
the movie I'm like, this is
But
cool.
he's
I love this
calm
movie.
as if the ejector seat was meant for flipping a car over, not just being an ejector seat.
That's kind of a good point. And then on the other side of that is like Bond's confidence.
Bond's just like, this is
So I can see
exactly,
it.
it's going to work perfectly because it's an ejector seat. But
Yeah.
I wish it was just a flip car over button. If he's going to be that if he's going to be that calm in that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough call, right? Because even when the car flips over initially, Bond doesn't really even react. He just rocks the blue steel again.
Bond has his gun under his pillow, which we don't see often. It's like a thing that's mentioned here and there.
Occupational hazard.
But this might be the first time we actually see him put it under the pillow. Something Bond does every night. He always sleeps with a gun under his pillow.
Do you still sleep with a gun under your pillow?
As you mentioned, death by laser while tied down to a table thing, and then switch the bloody machine off. Just like in License to Kill,
Switch the bloody machine off!
or even in Man with the Golden Gun.
Just push every damn button, will you?
Using a snow transportation vehicle that then breaks down, so you use part of it that magically has footholds to surf. Just
Oh.
like in A View to a Kill.
Smart. See, that's how you do it, though.
Anytime you rip something off of a machine, it just has footholds magically there so you can surf. Quick exit from a plane that is about to crash by getting into a smaller vehicle housed inside the plane, just like in The Living Daylights.
Yep.
And then at the end, Bond girl begging to keep diamonds, just like at the end of Diamonds Are Forever. She's like,
How the hell do we get those diamonds down again?
one thing I wish they would have done, and he says to Jinx, how much time do you have?
How much time have you got?
Until dawn.
McCurdy, what do you think she should have said?
All the time in the world.
Why? Yeah, why not? You know, why not?
Now we have all the time in the world.
She
I
literally
don't know.
had
Listen.
until dawn, but why not? I have all the time in the
Charlie,
world. Like,
this
you
is
know.
the best James Bond movie. I don't know if you know that.
And that's on that note. What I really wish they would have done is pull out all the stops and just go nuts with your 20th movie. If that's what your plan was, they should have taken it even further. Like just fan service the movie would have been better than this. But anyway,
Of course, we have Q's lab, where we see General Kleb's shoe,
the droid from A View to a Kill.
the Acro Star, and the Gator sub from Octopussy.
There looks to be what is Timothy Dalton's parachute / mountaineering gear from the prologue of The Living Daylights.
There's the rope coil from Octopussy.
The bagpipes from The World Is Not Enough. The ski pole from The Spy Who Loved Me.
There's a pile of bars of gold,
Obviously referring to Goldfinger.
from Russia with Love suitcase with the knife that pops out. The License to Kill suitcase that I think has maybe the alarm clock in it.
We also see the Thunderball jetpack, and he presses the button on it.
And I think that's everything.